What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Brød Taylor bread proofing box. This is going to be the first review that I've done of a baking accessory, but this is really an essential item if you are making bread or bagels or pizza or really doing any baking on a regular basis, and you live in any area that gets kind of cool in the winter or the spring or the fall, and you need to keep your dough temperatures at a specific temperature for proofing. Now, this Brød Taylor box is really unique in that it is compact. You can see that it folds up, and so this doesn't take a lot of space in your house, and so that's what really attracted me to it to begin with. But here in Colorado, we have, in the evening, the temperatures get down pretty low, and if you're not keeping your home at 70 degrees or more at nighttime, you're gonna have trouble really getting a consistent bread and proofing, and so this really makes it a lot easier. So let's take a look at this bread proofer here today. I've used this for about a month now, and so I'm giving you my reviews based on that. I use it for baking. However, you can use this as a slow cooker as well, which we'll talk about, and you can also use this to make things like yogurt and fermented items. So it's pretty versatile. It's not just for bread proofing. Okay, so the cool thing about this here, first of all, you can see it's pretty slim on the side. You've got your outlet for your plug, and that's essentially it. So it's a really nice slim item. You can put this on top of your fridge or something like that. Stores are pretty simple, and what you have here is you just open this up, and this is removable, so you can see the hinges right there. So this is pretty cool because you're just going to use this as a top in a moment, but you can just rest it like that. You've got this nice little rack in here. Okay, so we're going to use this rack later on. It's got some feet on it and a little area to make sure that you put the water tray in the proper position. And then, of course, you have a water tray here with this. So this is for adding moisture and humidity to your proofing. And then here we go. We just lift this up, and it's all attached here, so it's not really going to come apart on you. And then you just pull this open and pop it into place. Okay, so you can see here on the sides, maybe I'll just lean this in a little bit. What you're going for is trying to get it here underneath that little slit there, and then there's a little post here in the corner. And so what you're doing is just popping it in there. Same thing on the other side, and you're good to go. Okay, so the cool thing about this is that once you have it here, basically you can add your water tray. This is if you want humidity into your proofing. So you're not always going to use this if you're doing like a long overnight starter or something like that, for 18 hours or something. You're just going to want to cover that and use this without any water. And if you're using, let's say you're proofing in your banneton the next morning, then you can use this with a little bit of water, and you don't need to cover your dough at all. It's not going to get dry or form a skin because the moisture is going to take care of that even at a really low temperature. So I'm going to discuss that here in a second as well. So you've got your water tray, and basically you're just going to pop that there in the center if you fill it with water. Then you put your grate right on top of that. It's got these two little guides here so that your water tray stays in place. And then all you do is you pop this on the top. So you can see it's got two little hinge sort of rest points. This is not going to stay there, right, on its own. It's the only thing I don't really like about this, but you do have the rest down below, so you can just put it there, obviously. But then you're just going to kind of position that in place and close your top. What's cool is you got this nice big viewing area, so you can keep an eye on your dough as it goes. And this is really, really nice. So just to give you an idea of some of the sizes that we're dealing with here. So I'm going to tell you what the dimensions are. Inside the actual box here, while it's open like it is set up, we have 15 by 12.5 by 8 inches high, okay? When this is closed and it's fully compacted, we've got 18 by 14.5 by about 3 inches high. So the interior of this is pretty sizable, and what I'm gonna do is just rest the top there and show you with some bannetons. So you can fit one banneton here like this. Now they do sell a raised shelf if you wanna have for a second layer, but what I found is that you can use things like a glass and just kind of rest your banneton. That glass is obviously a little bit too high, but maybe you could use like a corning dish or something. So there's a lot of different options to be able to fit 2 bannetons in here, but basically if you have something just the right height, you can actually get 2 bannetons in here without having to purchase the second grate. Okay, so that's kind of the point. Unfortunately, you can't fit 2 side by side, but you could fit 2 loaf pans. So if you're doing loaf style bannetons, those would fit side by side. And again, all you need to do is just simply prop this up, and you will get 2 in here. I've done this before, so that works really well. And I've got a 2-quart, 2-liter sort of proof here with a Sicilian dough, so you can kind of just get a size on that as well. But it's pretty versatile, okay? So if you're gonna do something like baguettes, that might be a little bit more challenging unless you really get the size right here. So again, that's 15 inches. So it's not huge, but for a baguette, you know, depends what size you're making, that can work really well. So what I'm gonna do here is just pop the top on here, and we're gonna take a look at the side so I can show you some of the controls for the heating. So let's take a look at that. All right, so we got the cord here, and they give you this special cord in order to fit into the unit here. Oops, and we're just gonna press that in. And you can't actually compress this unit or close it up without unplugging the cord. And I guess that's for safety reasons. So let me just pop this underneath here quickly. Okay. So once this is plugged in, you've got your power button here. You can see that once you power that on, you have the red light, which means it's heating right now. So I have this set to 72. You can actually get down to 70 degrees is the lowest that you can set this on for proofing, which is perfect, right? You don't really technically want to go over 70 most of the time. So this is really nice. Now this will go up pretty high, depending on what you're going to use it for, right? So what's interesting is in proofer mode, you can do it from between 70 and 95. If you're adding water here or moisture, you might want to do it a little bit higher. You can go up to 120. And then with the slow cook mode, which is another mode, that goes up to 195 degrees. So you can use your cast iron pot here, or something like that, and you can actually place that inside right directly on the unit. You would take the grate out of this, put the cast iron pot right on the actual floor of the unit, and then you can slow cook. And so what you would do is just switch that to slow cook here, and you can see I have the adjustments. I can go up to 195, or we can go down. Okay, so really simple adjustments. And of course, again, with the slow cook mode, you would remove the grates, you would remove the water tray, and you would put your cooker right on your pot, right on the floor of the unit. So now I'm going to switch it back. So we're now on proofing mode again, and you can see that goes down to 70. And we can go up pretty high with this as well. Usually you're not going to do it too high. But, you know, even if you're using this at 70 degrees, so this goes up to 120 on proofing mode, okay? But even if you're doing this at 70 degrees, you're still gonna get moisture with the water, which is really interesting. I wasn't sure if I was really gonna get any humidity by having this set at 70. Sorry for all the clicking here, guys. Have this set at 70. I wasn't sure if the water was actually going to cause any moisture in here, but this does start to fog up. I just had a pan in here warming up, and the underside of the pan was actually wet because I did have water in there preparing for something else. So really, really, really nice unit. I love this. The thing about the numbers here is 70 degrees. If you put a thermostat inside of here, it's not going to register at 70. Okay, what they designed this unit to do is actually heat up whatever contents are in the proofer to that temperature. So if I pop my lid off of here and I drop my dough in there and I left it there, the idea behind this proofer is going to heat the dough to 70 degrees. So the contents are going to be 70 degrees. So don't, you know, put a thermostat in there and think that it's not working properly. This is set properly to be able to give you a certain temperature on your actual product here. So when I'm proofing a bread, typically I'm using it around 70 or 72. If I'm doing like a pizza dough and I want to kind of accelerate that a little bit, I'll do it a little bit higher, 72, 74. Okay, but that's the fun part, is playing around with it. The nice thing is that you have the options here. So this is a really versatile unit, and I'm just going to show you how to break it down here really quickly as well, so you can see how simple and quick this is. So you're just going to turn it off. You're going to unplug it. Again, as I said before, there's a safety that stops you, prevents you from being able to close this while it's still plugged in. Okay, so you're just going to, again, pop the top off, and you can set that in the side. You'll pull your grate out. You'll pull your water pan out, and then you'll just simply lift and close it up. Again, this is attached here. There's a hinge point here. So you just drop that down. You can put your water tray in there, flip your grate upside down, and then it has these little areas here to grab your grate, and then little holes for this to fall through there. So you just close it and snap it closed, and there you go. So really, really nice unit here by Brød & Taylor. This is about $200, $220 depending where you get it. I bought mine from a kitchen retailer online. I was able to get a $10 off coupon by signing up for their mailing list. So you can try that as well. But I did purchase this myself. I'm just doing a review of this Brød & Taylor unit because it's something that I've been wanting to review and use, and I haven't seen a ton of people review it as an actual user. So again, I'm using this mostly for baking, guys, but you can use this as a slow cooker. It goes up to 195 degrees, which I'm actually really interested in trying, maybe some sous vide or some slow cooking just with this unit. So lots of other options. A lot of people make yogurts and fermented items and things like that in this as well. So just really cool because it keeps everything consistent. So if you live in a cooler area and you're trying to bake something in the winter, it becomes really difficult when you have overnight proofs that are going down, maybe 55 or 60 degrees at nighttime, and you really need that 70-ish degrees. So guys, go check out Brød & Taylor. Super simple unit here, but I like that it folds up and it's really compact. Doesn't take up a lot of room in your house. You set it up as you need it, and you can just kind of pack it and store it away. So hopefully this was a helpful review for you guys. If you have any questions, obviously leave them down in the comments. I'll be happy to address them for you. But this is the Brød & Taylor bread proofing box. Check one out, pick one up for yourself, and let me know how you guys like it. Cheers.